Guess who's back? Back again. Shady's back. Tell a friend, Joe. Tell a friend in Pittsburgh, because the worst kept secret in the history of the NFL is, once again, I don't know if I want to play. I'll tell you when it's my time at this point right now. Don't worry about me. I'll let you know. And they did let him know. Aaron Rodgers back with the Pittsburgh Steelers, one-year deal up to $25 million. No longer Mike Tomlin. It's Mike McCarthy in the building, his old head coach. Does this move the needle for Joe Ranieri? He's back, Joe, in Pittsburgh, black and gold.
Well, yeah, I mean, it absolutely has to move the needle. I mean, I had them pegged at 3 wins with Aller, and now I've got them at least 4 wins, Donnie, with a 42-year-old quarterback who looks about as disinterested as humanly possible. Not to mention, you have the highest paid defense in the league, and you couldn't stop a nosebleed last year. So, yeah, no, I think things are going well in Pittsburgh. You got your man, all 42 years of him. Congrats. Enjoy.
You know, it's funny about the NFL, too, is like you never want to throw away football seasons because people love football so much. And Pittsburgh is used to winning seasons, but they're not a championship organization anymore. If you are a true Steelers fan, you say, okay, Aaron Rodgers coming back. Usually the excitement is good young football team building, or we're at the peak. We're going for the Super Bowl this year. Like, there is no in-between at this point where you get on that treadmill like, all right, 9-8, bounced early, or maybe it goes a little bit worse. It's interesting to see what Pittsburgh fans have. Oh, great, Aaron Rodgers is back. What does that mean? We watched it last year. It didn't mean too much at this point. We'll find out much more. But, Joe, we got other news and notes there from the same division. Could this be true? We got a Jeremy Fowler report that says Watson has hit it off with Todd Monken, their new head coach at OTAs. They can't be starting Deshaun Watson, can they? Is this charade still going on?
Well, I mean, listen, Donnie, you paid him $200+ million. Somebody better get some money's worth out of him at some point, if he can still play the game. And I don't think anybody knows that he can play the game anymore. But if there is a shot, you got a $250 million investment, somebody better make sure every rock is turned over and make sure he can't play.
Maybe I give the Browns a little bit of credit where I probably shouldn't. Could it just be, Joe, hey, look, let's rehab the guy enough to get a 6th-round pick for the guy and bump him right out if somebody gets injured, and you can have him off our hands? Because there's no reason. They actually paid this guy. I know he was injured for the most part, but usually when a player gets injured, you want him around the team. He's going to be rehabbing. Can't wait to get my starting quarterback that I'm paying hundreds of millions of dollars to. But they basically paid him, just stay away. We don't even want you in the facility, to now, welcome back, open arms, new coach here. Maybe you can be the starter. We'll find out. But if it is just to bring him back to trade him, then it makes sense. If it's actually to be our starting quarterback, then we'll certainly find out. Pro Football Talk tweeted, the Accelerator program is back after last year's cancellation, which means 34 candidates for 2026 include Chargers offensive coordinator Mike McDaniel and Chiefs offensive coordinator Eric Bieniemy. Man, Bieniemy's back as a Chiefs wasn't he coaching like high school last year? Where'd that guy go?
Yeah, well, listen, that's actually not a bad thing because they looked a little bit undisciplined, did they not, last year, Donnie, to say the least? It did not look like your typical, offense that we were used to seeing. I think he brings back a little discipline. I think he brings back, it's time to put it together here because the window is closing, Donnie, if we're being honest here, on a couple of teams and a couple of quarterbacks here.
By the way, with Eric Bieniemy on the Accelerator program, dude's been he's on like the Decelerator program at this point now.
Exactly.
He was supposed to be a head coach in like 1998, still waiting on his turn to try to get that done. How about another Pro Football Talk tweet here, Joe? It's all about the money. You know it is. They're talking about, here's a look at why streaming has created a political issue for the NFL and where it could or should go from here. If anybody knows what these sports, major sports, I should say, have the antitrust exemptions, which means that's a lot of money in your pocket from other organizations that aren't allowed to compete with you. And anytime you see a sports league gets out of their britches here, as we like to say, Congress goes, we'll take that antitrust back. Oh, boy, they snap right back into it here. This is interesting because now as you're seeing, hey, we give you these exemptions because we want this to be a public brand. Now you're telling everything can go behind a paywall at this point. They're not liking it here. We're going to have some congressional hearings, Joe. You watch.
Well, and Donnie, that is exactly why the NCAA has been doing what they've been doing, Donnie, because that's their ultimate goal, is to get the exemption for the NCAA now that they're paying all of these players. So yeah, that's the ultimate goal. But they can easily take it away if they give it to you.
No, and again, they held it. That carrot goes right above, and they snap back quickly here. You don't want to walk that fine line and lose an antitrust exemption. Good luck with that. Hour number 2 on its way next. We'll be right back, which brings up our next thing. You know where Tom Brady used to play at a ton of success? That's with the New England Patriots, people. Their forecast for wins on the Kalshi marketplace, 9+, 10+, 11 wins. Joe, they cruised last year, but apparently people looking for maybe not to be so successful this year as they actually play a decent schedule. No? Where do we go on the win totals here on the Kalshi marketplace?
Well, again, keeping in mind, they forecasted about 9.7, I think, total wins here. But keep in mind, when you dive into these future markets like this and the prediction side, you're always looking for value where you'll have an opportunity to get out, make a profit, Donnie, because the market has got to reprice as the season moves along. The Patriots are sitting here 9.5 wins. I think you can even see 10+ wins on their card here. I mean, they're pricing them now like they're a real contender and not this cute sleeper team that had an easy schedule last year, because the schedule much more difficult. The noise much more this year than in past year. Travel mileage totally different. So I don't see a lot of value in expecting them to win 10 or 11 games. I see the value in them not living up to the potential, and I see the under as to where the value is.
Yeah, it looks like 9+ wins, Joe, currently with a 57% chance to have that happen. But the yes contract there is actually at 66 cents, which means a $100 investment on the Patriots winning 9+ games, I should say, gets back $152. Let's take a look at the opening game that New England's going to play against the Super Bowl champions from a game we just saw in the Super Bowl. New England versus Seattle. Currently right now, Seattle, Joe, and Kalshi, just to win the game, 66% chance with a yes contract of 68 cents. Always hard to go on the road. Emotional atmosphere on opening night all the way out in Seattle. That's going to let you know how dialed in those New England Patriots are. And also, any off-field, off-season happenings could interfere with game number 1. We'll find out. But the heavy favorite right now are those Seattle Seahawks, Joe.
Well, here's the deal, Donnie. The market we just talked about there regarding New England and their win total. Well, I tell you right now, if they win this one to open up the season, Donnie, that market's going to reprice and adjust in a big way, right? Same thing for Seattle. If I just need who's going to win this game, I would much rather have Seattle here than anything else. Traveling across country, 12th man, all of that good stuff there. Yeah, but again, Seattle's market, I don't know what their win total is, Donnie, but it will likely have to reprice as well after this game. So those two markets, I think, correlated with game 1, depending on which side you think is going to win.
Most of the time, Joe, those rosters are set heading into training camp, OTAs in the first game of the season. Not the case here. We got June 1st coming up sooner than later, which maybe the Patriots can add a wide receiver from Philadelphia. We'll certainly find that out. Probably going to happen here. But also, we take a look at the Seattle Seahawks win total coming up for the next season. We talked about the Patriots right around that 9+ win scenario. You're not getting those discounts with Seattle. That's a good football team, but it is a tough division, Joe. I go to the Kalshi marketplace. 57% chance to do what? 11+ wins on the season. The yes contract's at 55 cents here, Joe. Expectations for the Super Bowl champions, extremely high once again in 2026.
Yeah, well, and I think they got the Rams in twice in the final 3 weeks again here on the schedule. They play the last 3 Super Bowl champs. The schedule for Seattle is not going to be easy. But look at the price, Donnie. They're taxing them like, hey, here you go again, another 11, 12 win season up and coming here. We always know there's always that regression with the Super Bowl champs, right? Again, this is a market where I think the fade early on is where the best repricing is going to take place.
Mike Tomlin's not in town, which means questionable if we do get another winning season in Pittsburgh. Aaron Rodgers is back. Mike McCarthy's the new head coach. But I go to the Kalshi marketplace here, Joe. 8+ wins on the season is at 60% right now as a chance. 7+ wins, though, is listed at 54%, but that's not where you make the money. It's in the contract. A yes on 7 wins is 72 cents. A yes on 8 wins It's all the way down to 56 cents here, Joe. 7-8 wins? That's not a 500 season, Joe. Uh-oh.
Yeah, and what you just said is so true, Donnie. Take whatever you want to think of Pittsburgh with Tomlin and throw it out the window. Because Tomlin is not there. All of those stats, all of those throw them right out the window. It's Mike McCarthy's show now, and this is going to be a dumpster fire. All to the under for me across the board with Pittsburgh this year.